Okay, so taking that situation, the way I feel like the best way to approach negative situations like that, or not really negative, but a conflict like that, is to take it in step by step and kind of talk it out with the president and kind of let that other person know your, I guess, opinion about the situation, and kind of show them your how do I say this? Like weighing the pros and cons and kind of helping them to see your side or your perspective, as well as trying to understand like what they're coming from. But if it comes in terms of something that is very wrong and you really believe it's wrong, I just feel that the best way to approach it is just to talk it out and see if you can find some kind of commonality or some kind of common balance that will really help everyone to see eye to eye, especially with situations like that. Because I think the core problem for that is just a lack of miscommunication and understanding. So I feel to get to resolve that situation, just try to have them see where you're coming from and basically talk it out, because you can't get through a conflict without confrontation, but at the same time you have to approach it not like a aggressive way, but a more subtle but proactive way.
How I would deal with that situation, I wouldn't just be like, no, I don't like that idea, it's ugly. But of course I wouldn't do that, but I'd put in my own input and like my ideas, and not totally like shut down what they say, but also like kind of like what Kristen said again, but like seeing the possible outcomes with whatever the idea may be, and just see like what would come about with that, and also just weighing, balancing both of our ideas together, and just make sure it like collaborates well.
Well, it's going to happen. We're going to conflict. If I was elected to one of the positions, we're all different people. We all have all different, points of view. And I feel like the first step in, resolving a problem like that is realizing that, there are different points of view, and you have to respect that, Something that you feel strongly about could be something totally different from what they stand for. And I don't know if you guys follow astrology, but I'm a Libra, and I have a weighing scale. So pretty much, I like to see things from both sides. I would definitely take a look at what they're thinking, their point of view is, and why they would make these claims or these suggestions. And then I would also look at my side and then kind of like compromise. But I think the biggest thing in a situation like that would be communication, of course, just talking it out, and honesty, just being honest and straight with the person, as long as you stand for something, that you feel is right, then, I feel like you should say it, and in the best possible way, of course. President, vice president relationship is a really important one, and, there's going to be conflicts, but you guys got to make the best of what you have. It's just communication, and honesty is one of the biggest things to me. Well, I think that the first step in that is realizing and helping our club and our officers realize that we're part of a community. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're part of a bigger picture. Like, a lot of people just look at our club and that's it. But I think we need to engage other people, and that's one of my biggest goals as president and executive vice president, outreach. And I know that that's like, everyone says that every year, outreach. But, and every year we make progress. But I feel like, that's one of the places where we need to, emphasize the most. Like, maybe with other, we have a lot of people outreach to us, other organizations from different schools. But I think, we have to put an emphasis on our club and our school first before fostering, relationships with everyone else, because they affect us in our future, and we affect them in their, the future of, the school as a whole. So I think, going out and reaching out to these people, like, fixing broken bridges, and just, recreating our identity and like just putting out the awareness of what UFC stands for. We're a family, but at the same time, we're a family in a, like, we're just one piece of a bigger family. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we should realize. I don't know if a lot of us do. So I think just placing that emphasis on, the bigger picture is, one of my goals, especially as VP and president. So I hope that answers your question.
Continuing on with answering that question, I agree with Jedrick. Like, UFC is not only UFC, we're part of the Seattle University community, the Seattle community. But along with that, like what we've done in the past in UFC, like making bonds with other clubs, like bowling with Hui, or helping VSA with Swan, like during the week before Swan. Beginning with that is a good way to and strengthen our relationship with them. But also, I feel like every officer within the UFC officer group has an advantage to reach out to the other community or the other groups as well. Like with community service, we could invite other orgs to clean Blairsdale Park or something. And so I think just also recognizing each group's mission and what that unifies us to be a community as a whole is what we need to recognize as a group. And so I think that's one major important aspect of being a leader.
Okay. Along the same lines, basically, we are part of the SU community, and we are a small institution. So the fact of the matter is that we shouldn't be exclusive to ourselves, but also reach out to all of the other organizations on campus, as well as the administrative offices and whatnot. So aside from just getting involved with the other clubs on campus, we need to focus on patching relationships with the other parts of the SU community, including SEEK or OMA and other parts of the community, ASSU. So basically, other ways that we can branch out to that is just through connections, personal connections, and try to not just publicize who we are as UFC, but also reach out to them and be like, oh, hey, if you guys have an event, we would love to help out and whatnot. So basically opening our opportunities to reach out to other clubs and organizations and whatnot on campus, not just, culture clubs or, student groups or whatever, but also the greater aspect of SEEK and whatnot. And also just representing UFC in a way that we also represent SU, because if it wasn't for the SU core values and whatnot, then we wouldn't be here as well either.
All right, thank you, candidates.